The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how we can do it together. When we look to the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PSP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher, wonder when it does now comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs. So why you come to me with that foolishness, you know? You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.
Hello, welcome. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to everyone. Happy Thursday to those in television land. Happy Thursday to our supporters, silent supporters. Happy Thursday to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in as usual. Remember, when you come in, thumbs up the live. Share us out if you can, and if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. That will be greatly appreciated. Today's topic is alternate reality with your host, Mystic Sensation, which is Baron and Anne-Marie. We also have Pink Skew Green and Melting Pot in studio. Let me just quickly welcome those in the chat. Dorothy McCoy, Don Mel, Lessons in Life, Hot Off the Press, bless up yourself. Bless up. Marva Dice, Maureen Vassell, Carol Johnson, Sonia Newman Smith, Carol Allen, Laris Beckford, Lyndon Green, Lorraine Taylor, Track and Steam TV, Sandy G, Audrey Rike, Andrea Burke, Winnie Mead, Michelle McCoy, just jumped again, Lavina Miles, Claudette James, Yannick Hansel, Farmer Girl 2, bless up 1, 2, 3, Matthew, God bless, Lavina Miles, bless up, Pamela O'Connor, bless up yourself. Let me just bring this up. And guys, remember Pink Skew Green Development. This is her business. She deals in architecture, construction, and interior design. And our contact number is on screen there, 876-770-3876 for all your building needs. If you so desire, you can contact her at that phone number there. Without any delay, I am going to hand over to Baron.
All right, thank you for that, honey, for that usual wonderful precursor. And of course, our technical operator and director. Right. Now, having said that, we want to lift our hats to Hot Off of the Press, being in the chat today. People, if you have not subscribed to Hot Off of the Press, please, I would like for you to do so. right? Just go over, right, and subscribe to Author for the Press, because you know that she's out there. She's one of our so-called nannies, right, who is defending democratic socialism. And, you know, she's very much, right, aggressive in terms of dealing with the issues at hand and delivering the truth. She's not someone who play. So please go over and endorse. Having said that, let us do the usual do, right, in terms of our powerful and impactful panelists, right? We begin with Lady Spinks Q Green, right? Lady Spinks, could you just meet and greet your people as usual? Spinks?
Yes, good afternoon, Lady Anne Marie. Thanks for the advertisement a while ago. Good afternoon, Uncle Byron, Melting Pot, everyone in the chat. And I say good afternoon to Comrade Leader, or Chairman, Chairwoman, or DPs, or 63 candidates, and every blood and fire comrade who lives in the island, who lives on the island, and who lives overseas. I say a big up to everyone in Northwest St. James, and enjoy the show. And
All
thanks
right.
for tuning into the show. All right.
Okay, all right. And of course, you know that we have our opening batsman, right? Quite powerful and impactful, right? Melting Pot, without any further ado, meet and greet.
Good afternoon to everyone. Hope you're having a blessed Ben Johnson Thursday. You know, as usual, we know Thursday at Ben Johnson Day. Oh, I hope that is filled with all the blessings and, you know, everything that comes with life. I just want to say big up to Lady Pinkskew Green in the house as usual. The lion is from the west. You know, as usual, Sir Byron, the man will run the show, the host, our technical director, Lady Anne Marie, powerful impact behind the scene, the narrative that used to come on the screen, you know. And to everyone, my fellow comrades who are tuning in the chat today, you know, I hope you are enjoying yourself and getting ready for your impact afternoon. And, you know, I just want to big up every comrade right around the world, you know, and I want to know I'll pray for Mama P as usual, you know, give her some prayers, because we know she's not well. So we just want to extend our gratitude sincerely towards Mama P, and just, you know, pray that she get well to see more life that is ahead of her. So without any further ado, and back the floor to the host.
All right. Thank you for that, Melting Pot. Right. As you can see on the thumbnail, and we will be hosting this program as true towards our thumbnail. GLP, spin doctors and corruptors, Cliff Hughes and Draws Davis, no apology there. Alternative reality, these are people who want to try to, and what alternative reality means, that they want to tell you that the lies, right, that they are spinning are true, right, and the truth that we are spinning, right, that the truth is false. Now, that is what we call alternative reality. Now, talking point, crisis in mainstream media when it becomes politically weaponized. When mainstream media becomes politically weaponized, like, you know, nationwide, right? No two way about that. The lies and the deceitfulness, right? To demoralize the moral fabric of our society in accepting the lies for the truth. That is what we talk about, alternative reality. Right, let me give you some of the program breakdown for today, right? That is going to be quite impactful. Line about the economic and security, right? As it relates to fiscal discipline. We'll be touching that topic, right? Judge Tough and Rural Read case. So that is what we are going to start with. And Bangarang, right there. Right, we're going to talk about the left wing versus the right wing politics. And of course, we are going to speak on police brutality. Right? That is a very serious situation. But let me just give you a background before we venture into our topics. Again, my Jamaican people, and I am just 100% being honest. I am so happy and wonderfully feeling so, just great as it relates to Mark Golding's victory. A Mark Golding that unite the party, a comrade leader that had brought a significant strength to the People's National Party from 14 to 28. The removal of a 2/3 majority power from Andrew Holness's kleptocratic government is so critical in this juncture. And so then they are confused. I see where they try to want to split the People's National Party by trying to believe that they can infiltrate through Damian Crawford. But I know Damian has better sense. Right? With Damian level of prudence, I know that Damian will never allow them, right, to break through. But they know that trouble. Now, let me say this, my Jamaican people, for anyone who has any doubt that Andrew Holness is not going to face judgment, you are wrong. You are absolutely wrong. For all those naysayers who believe that Andrew Holness is going to get away scot-free, you are dead wrong. You are dead wrong. What a lot of you don't know is what coming down in the pipeline for Andrew Holness. What many of you don't know is the level of criminality that Andrew Holness, right, carried out. Serious criminality. And he's going to pay, right? He's going to pay. No matter what you are seeing him doing right now, right, and all the struggle against justice, it have a saying that it's just a matter of time. But I am confident, 100% confident, that he's going to pay. Don't worry about that. I am that confident that he is going to suffer the consequence as it relates to justice meeting out to him. He's not going to get away, people. Not going to get away. And it is going to be rather worse for the fact that Mark Golding has taken away that 2/3 power. Many of you don't realize how that powerful. And I heard persons concerning about Paula Llewellyn, right, may become the Governor General. It is insignificant. Anyone that Andrew Holness want to use as Governor General, right, it makes no difference. Because the Governor General duties are just merely ceremonial. And where that would work for Andrew Holness if Andrew Holness maintained 2/3 majority. And so then everything that he put to the Governor General would have signed off on it. So you know that right then and there, Andrew Holness' plan mash up, totally crumble. And that is one of the reasons why they are all fretting. Just imagine, let me ask the question. A Jamaica Labour Party who had won a so-called 3rd term that they had stolen. They are not happy and they are still fretting. No, my Jamaican people, you won 3rd term, right? And you should be now celebrating. But you've gone down into the gutter politics. Because you know very well. Let me say this to you, Andrew. Let me say this to you. I don't even start a program, but I'm just going to warn you. You put in your wife, right, as Speaker of the House, is telling every single Jamaican, for some of those who are hiding their conscience, is that you're corrupted. That's what it means. You're corrupted. And you're doing everything, right, to save your ass. You have no intention to run a country as it relates to good governance. No, that is what you're not. That is what you're not about. You're about trying to hold on to power, right, to save you from going to prison. And you honest, I am telling you, we are closing in the walls on you, right? If you notice, I am happy, you know, because I know what's coming down the pipeline. And so then your wife cannot save you. Obviously not. Cannot save you, right? And so then more predicament, more hell. I don't know, Andrew, what you're doing. Let me say this to you, because I don't know who are advising you, but what you're doing, you're digging yourself deeper into mess. That's what you're doing, sir. You're and let me say this, Mystic Sensation is not even going to advise you on anything, because really and truly, you understand, I like how you are digging yourself more in mess. Now, let me begin the program. Now, Jamaica, we are going to start with Rural Read. Yes, Jamaica. We have to go there. And let me show you a little thing, Jamaica, that is playing out. They have Claudette Thompson, right, putting her as acting DPP. You notice that they have not given, the Service Commission have not given Claudette Thompson, right, the privilege of being the full DPP. You know why? Andrew Holness has his extended criminal corruption arm. And so they are operating under Andrew Holness' influence. So let me tell Jamaica what is going on. This Rural Read case for October 6th trial is to test where Claudette Thompson loyalty lies. For them, they are not too sure where her loyalty lies. So then, not give her the full privilege of the DPP. Just wait and see what she's going to do with this case. Is she's going to push very hard to prosecute Rural Read. Now, you said, Andrew Holness, that you are a chess player. Well, I'm playing the chess with you this morning. So we know that is what you're doing, right? And so then the Service Commission, right, doesn't want to fully oblige Claudette Thompson as it relates to giving her the full DPP. So it's a wait and see in terms of, you know, how you are going to weigh her in the balance depending on Rural Read's case. Let me tell you a secret, Andrew Holness. Rural Read's case has much to do with monetary transaction through the system, right? And those evidence would have already been recorded, right? And so that 15% that they try to shape is not going to help Rural Read's case. So Rural Read is putting out his best, but we know that he's fretting. Andrew Holness is fretting. And this is going to a case where the majority of Jamaicans, locally and in the diaspora, anticipating the ruling, what the decision is going to be. Let us wait and see, my Jamaican people. I don't want to cast any judgment on that, right? But one thing I can say to Andrew Holness, that our jurisprudence is a very tough one for you to break. Very tough. Our jurisprudence is solid in terms of what I know. And Rural Read touches the jury, the judiciary. Andrew, it no look good on rural Reed's case. I am saying this now, because I want people to be aware that Mystic Sensation, right, has spoken on this. It no look good on rural. Let me show the people in terms of what I'm talking about. And so then we are seeing some delayed tactics in terms of, having the DPP selected so that the case can be prosecuted. So then Andrew Honest, because we know that you is the corrupter. How long you think you can save rural Reed? How long you can do this in terms of, you understand, holding off with the DPP? You're just showing Jamaica, you're just showing all Jamaicans that you are so corrupted. So corrupted. One by one, they will be going to jail. One by one, they will be going to jail. Now, let us hear our first clip without any delay. New DPP appointment delayed, right? New DPP appointment delayed. What is going on there? Bangarang there. And the walls of justice are closing in. Let us play this, my people. Want to listen?
The Public Service Commission is facing sharp criticism over failure to appoint a new director of public prosecutions. This following the recent departure of Paula Llewellyn. Human rights group Jamaicans for Justice says the delay is troubling.
Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice, Michael Jackson, is taking the Public Services Commission, PSC, to task for failing to swiftly appoint a new Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP. Her criticism comes in the wake of Paula Llewellyn demitting office last Friday after 17 years in the post. Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Claudette Thompson, is now acting in the role. Speaking yesterday on Beyond the Headlines, Ms. Jackson argued that the delay in naming a permanent DPP reflects poorly on the PSC and undermines public confidence. She wants urgent reforms to the appointment process to guarantee greater transparency and accountability.
We still don't have a DPP installed. We have an acting. I don't think that is good. The lack of transparency, we're relying on the media to hear that there were 4 shortlisted, and we don't know how that process is going on. We need to structure a little bit more that where a situation may arise, this is the clear process. I think we need to make some amendments to processes and how transparent they are. But again, an indictment that we don't have a DPP appointed when we all knew September 19 was coming.
Meanwhile, Jamaican prosecutor Adley Duncan, who works in Bermuda, believes whoever assumes the office will have big shoes to fill, but an opportunity to bring a fresh way of leading the department.
I think whoever is installed as the next DPP needs to have the appropriate traits of leadership. And in particular, I think for these purposes, most important of all is the ability to be an individual. Because Ms. Llewellyn was DPP for, 17 years? It's very, very important, I think, that the next DPP is an individual who isn't committed to doing things that they were done for the past 17 years necessarily, but who is able to lead the office in a fresh way.
Shane Masters, TVJ News.
People, it no look good. People, me say it no look good. It no look good, people. It no look good. Rural Reed, you're in trouble. Those who involved with Rural Reed, in trouble. People, it no look good. But people, let me tell you and show you where the judge is saying to them. The judge is saying, listen to me, ready or not, the case with Rural Reed a try. What the judge is signaling, me tell anybody, from once the case put in the judiciary, a problem, me tell them, say, If Andrew Holness case touch the judiciary, you know, a problem, you know. Let me show you Jamaica where it is problem. It is problematic now because the judge is serious. The judge is warning them. The judge is saying, no amount of delay is not going to stop me from trying the case. Whether I want to have it 100%, whether 85%, and whether 15%, where blah, 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 the case will be tried. People, let me go into the evidence. Judge denies further delay in Rural Reed's case. Tell them, so with jury prudence now, play. You think Andrew Holness can corrupt this? Me say if you think say Andrew Holness can corrupt the judiciary. You have a second guess coming if you don't believe say Andrew Holness can corrupt the judiciary. You have a second guess coming. Now, here it is. The judge denies further delay in Rural Reed's case. September 23rd, 2025. Now, after 6 years of delays, the multi-million-dollar fraud case against former Education Minister Rural Reed and his co-accused will proceed on October 6th. The judge will tell them, you know, that there is no amount of obstacle can prevent this, you know. Despite prosecutors' request for more time to locate witnesses. No, the judge not in that. The judge is not in that. The judge has said, you see what you people have as it relates to evidence being collected and what me I look upon, me ready to try this now. So them the witness they want to try to locate up. You want them the witness of business, me they proceed. Now, Trelawney Parish Judge Van Facey refused the application to push the trial to February 2026. You're crazy? Oh, no, crazy? Hey, what on the? Are there something on our plan? I'm glad how the case touched the judiciary, you know. Oh, no, can't come around with no hanky-panky, you know. Insisting the matter must be gone as scheduled. Take it away on him when I talk to my people. I keep on telling them, yes, that when the case is in the judiciary, you don't play. Don't play. The judge, regardless of what prosecutors say. So if Andrew Holness, as it relates to the Service Commission with the DPP, right, when you trying to test the waters, the judge not in that. Them delay the talk about 15% this and 15% that. The judge not in that. The judge are telling us, say, make sure October the 6th coming, ready or not, trial. Want to hear that, people? The judge, no, you know, plating. The judge are telling us, say, after 6 years, you are asking now for one more year, 2026. No. Guilty as charged. My Jamaican people, who will read faith hang in the balance. Yes. And that case is going to be tried. And so then when the judge look on all the evidence in front of him as it relates to the 85%, yes, we're ready. The judge on business, we don't know. We're ready. And if we're not ready, we're ready. October the 6th, we're ready. Come in, melting pot, opening box, man. What say you on the matter?
I would like to ask them why them never did, proceed with the trial when them did have the 100% documents in front of them as it relates to the evidence. Why wait till 85 walk where, fly where, run where, or sink where? Eh? Why wait till 15% of that sink where, fly where, run where, walk where, or jump where, out of wherever it was? because a hanky-panky reasoning them, you know.
Exactly.
Them a reason you're not going away. You understand? So Judge Van now decides whether or not you can come up with the 15% or not talk about. 6 years is enough to settle them type of matters. Yeah. We have too much unfinished business with some very high-profile court case in Jamaica, you know, as it relates to these so-called big boys. Call them not big boys. Big boys don't do what these criminals do.
No.
Yeah, these are so-called big boys, wannabe big boys, criminals they are. Because just look when little youth them at the ghetto have any case over them head, how quick it try and them get sentenced or them get reprieve. You understand? So what is holding up this so-called, you know, big boy as it relates to Royal Reid? Royal Reid are not a big boy, man. Royal Reid was an ordinary civil servant as a principal, you know, at Jamaica College, you know. And Andrew fast-tracked him into government institution and start show him how to deal with the thing corruptedly. And then pull off several corruption rings with the educational funds. Yeah? And when this guy dive in and take out this whack over 50 million and incriminate a helper, an elderly woman, yeah, to the extent where them all send to arrest the woman. You know, say this guy are evilous and devious in his thought and wicked to the core. Eh? Look how you want to mash up grandma's career. Hard working helper. You understand? And everybody did know the situation with Royal Reid, you know. Guy play out. You understand? Voice recording and everything. As it relates to even the taxi driver, who himself now is a caterer. The man said never involved in a catering from the damn barn. Even don't know where that come from. You understand? But what is so significant about Royal Reid thing, you know, is the fact that you as a so-called big man, why you da use your helper to take out an account in our name, but the money belongs to you?
Hold on there, Melting Pot. Give me a minute there. Yeah, let me just use this opportunity to big up Conrad O'Brien. Remember, people who want to go over and endorse Conrad. Brother Conrad, big up yourself, right? Bless up. Yes, Melting Pot, go ahead.
Yeah, man. From the outset, you know, everything looked fishy, smelled fishy, and was stink with corruption. Because I don't know what no so-called big boys, yeah, we have 50 million and use them helper to open bank account for the money they're going at. Yeah, and then use the helper every time with the aid of a nephew to go try the money, give to the nephew, give back the card. But the card not the helper name, you know.
Yes.
The card is not the helper name, but she not have no authority over the card basically. So that alone open up everything for sure say a thief in money and he might try to protect it. Yeah, that should be a cut and dry case long time. I don't know why Andrew and Paula Llewellyn think that them could have really use statute of limitation and run down the clock as well them normally do and free Royal Reid. No, it will never happen around here.
I know.
You understand? You can't have no clock where deal with criminality. Clock not be tick with criminality. Criminal must brought to justice and justice must be served. So that criminal realize well then you cannot just do anything and think that because you're a so-called big boy, you will get away with it. That's not how the law is supposed to go. So we know about the 17 year with Paula Llewellyn. So it was 17 rather sad year sitting in that office. You understand? Literally warming the seat in the office, not carrying out any form of conviction as it relates to some high-profile case where we know about. And we can touch on several of them, but make we stick on Royal Reid. Royal Reid deprived many Jamaican kids of the opportunity to get a good education. Yeah, and that is not something we must sniff at lightly. That is something that is very critical and very fundamental to our development as a nation. Education is the key to success. And this one guy who coming from an institution like Jamaica College should have known better.
Exactly.
Rather than coming to, you know, rubbish a ministry because of him ill-gotten wealth where he want to assemble. No, we're not having it. It's time Jamaica start to move in a direction that can show to the world that we are on top of situation as it relates to criminality. We must focus to the world how clean our system is, how transparent our system is, yeah, and not show to the world how corrupt our system is. The DPP has been a failure for 17 years and she should have long gone. But because of who is running the country, it's nothing less than what you'd call a 6 for 9. Him keep her there over the time. You understand? Extend her beyond our time. Giving her some form of, I don't know what it is, safeguard. She never need to be there. She has underperformed. The minute she went and lost the case at the Privy Council against ISAT, yeah, in the Vice Cartel trial, she should have left because she was shamed like a lappiest dog. She never represented herself nor the office. You understand? And the entire world know how corrupt this DPP is. But what we are seeing they are trying to do now is to beat this incoming DPP. That's why they give her acting role, Claudette Thompson, to see how well she can, you know, perform the role of a Paula Llewellyn. Well, this lady, I don't think she's gonna be daft. I don't think she's gonna be stupid. And I don't think she wants to wrap herself around certain conversation in society because it would paint a bad picture upon her to begin with. You understand? Anybody now coming into this DPP office, yes, have to work according to the law that govern that office. That office is not being, you know, run by a single-minded person. You understand? Who can just do whatever they want to do using the power of the DPP office. The DPP office have to work for the nation, people in society, not for the fame of the individual who is sitting there because they're getting some kickback from up the top. It can't be. Because this office is a privileged office, you know, and some people like Paula Llewellyn just use it for the fame of DPP, but she never perform as a DPP. We know that for a fact. So whoever is coming in have to perform as a genuine DPP, not as a camouflage DPP where Andrew turned into. You understand? You have to bring it to the table now. Because there's so much unfinished case in Jamaica that need to wind up. People need to get sentenced and go to prison. These are high-profile cases relating from murder to stealing of cash. Yeah? Several of them, Andrew Wheatley, the whole of them get to lightly. Favour William get to lightly. Yeah? Whole heap of them, and them still in this nasty cabinet. Some outside of the cabinet, as in the case of Royal Reader, each up all about, still being accepted by the leader. A guy who's under investigation. Everybody know that. So what they are trying to do, it will never happen in the current scheme of things. The climate has changed. Yeah. And Andrew need to know that the climate has changed. So we need somebody who wants the role of DPP, who is qualified as well, and who know that they are going there to work on behalf of the citizens of Jamaica. Right? Not the government, the citizen. I yield back the floor.
All right. Well said, Melting Pot. Before I have my dear sister, Lady Spinks, comes in. Let me just say something in terms of you know, the continuation where Melting Pot left off, because Melting Pot touched some critical points. Really love the punches delivered by Melting Pot. Melting Pot is on a blazing fire. I think that our criminal justice system is at a crossroad as it relates to whether or not we are going to continue the status quo of criminality and corruption, or Claudette Thompson is going to shift the balance that is concerned in terms of take the natural course of the law, obey the principles of the law, and let justice prevail. And I am saying that Claudette Thompson has a very big role to play in terms of the direction of where Jamaica is going in terms of moving forward. Her first case that she's going to be prosecuted, right? There's an enormous burden placed on her shoulder, right? Corruption is so rightened, and she has to make sure that her first case, being that it is, where corruptors are anticipating for her to not put the venom in the prosecution, right, and protect the status quo of corruption, or they are anticipating what she's going to do. Is she going to change the direction, change the trajectory of going down corruption and bring back Jamaica to a place where Jamaica ought to be as it relates to respect for the criminal justice system and let justice prevail? That is in the hands of Claudette Thompson, right? Acting as DPP. And so then I will not say anymore. I will bring in Lady Spinks for her input. Lady Spinks, you're on the ball.
Yes, Uncle Byron, I'm here. When it comes to Andrew, and you're wondering if Andrew takes advice from anyone, Andrew only takes advice from the voices in his own head, as far as I'm concerned. And I keep saying this over and over again, that this country is being run by a man whose frontal lobe does not work like normal people. Something is wrong with Andrew, obviously. And this is why we have to do everything we can in our power to protect our nation from this corrupted madman that is the leader of this country right now. Because he will move heaven and earth just to stay in the seat, just to be in power, just to be leader of this country. Now, when it comes down to his lackey, Royal Reid is just acting as a puppet, and Royal Reid was not acting alone, because with his friend Pinnock and Fritz, they took over $55 million that we know about and that we can find. Now, when Royal Reid's house was searched or raided, remember his wife Sharon, his daughter Cheryl, and also Kim Brown from Brownstone Division, the councillor, the elected councillor, present councillor of Brownstone under the GLP government, is actually part of the Royal Reid case. And even when we were going to look into the local government election last year, some people were using it as the whole issue of her being before the court for that case as why would she run for a government position. Now, if she goes before the court, as you know, what will happen is basically that we might have to have a by-election again, and then we're going to end up wasting taxpayers' money again, just because she knows she's part of this criminal network. She's a benefactor of this criminal network of our educational funds. And when you think of the insecurity of our educational system right now, and how our educational system has gone down the drain, we're getting less CXC passes, generations, 2 generations, 3 generations of youngsters or students are being affected by what Royal Reid has done to us as a nation. Now, while he was in his position, Royal Reid abused his position, and with his friend Pinnock, organized 28 accounts for the students at CMU to pay their school fees in. Most people know that in Jamaica, when you're paying your school fee, the school normally have an account that you pay your school fee to. It's always a 1 or 2 accounts. But CMU turned out to be the only institution in Jamaica that had 20
Okay. It seems like our sister has some technical difficulties there, but we want to reason, and for persons who want to call in as it relates to this matter, I will allow some time for persons to call in, right, and give their input as well. But let me just say this, right, as it relates to what we are looking at now, the situation with Rural Reid, right, and the level of corruption that he had done in terms of the rampant corruption on the Ministry of Education. I honestly don't believe that Rural Reid has done this, right? And Andrew Holness totally oblivious of Rural Reid, right? Criminal, doing as it relates to the Ministry of Education. And because I suspect that Andrew Holness may be aware of what went down. And let me say this, I don't have any evidence. Maybe given some of the spoils as well. And when you see that the level of protection that Andrew Holness tried to deliver to Rural Reid, try to have Rural Reid beat this case, it only can speak that Andrew Holness want to protect Rural Reid, because if Rural Reid gets smoked, Andrew Holness is going to get smoke in some of this as well. And so then it is, on the government to ensure that Rural Reid beat this case. So this is that we are at a juncture in terms of, okay, as it relates to how Claudette Thompson is going to rule. Is she going to, right, protect, right, the criminal status quo, or she's going to move the country, right, to a place, right, of seeking justice, where justice are to be delivered. She's there to ensure that justice being delivered. Yet to see, as it relates to how she's going to fight, or if she's not going to fight to prosecute Rural Reid. So that situation, right, is in her hand, as I said previously. Let me just bring back Sister Spinks to finish her input. Sister Spinks? Hello?
Yes, as I was saying before.
Yes.
Yeah, as I was saying, you hearing me?
Yes.
As I was saying before, CMU is the only institution you have here in Jamaica that had 28 different accounts for students to be paying their school fees into. And this is quite unusual, because normally a school will have like one or two accounts that students pay their school fees to. So it was an unusual activity to see another 28 accounts, just like Andrew Holness, they have a 28 account. And you understand me? So these criminal masterminds, as we know them, they will do anything to try and hide the money. And we know that they took out 55 million in one group. And I hope, just like you and Melvin Pot is saying, Claudette Thompson, or acting DPP, will look at this case, have sympathy and empathy for the Jamaican people, and act as accordingly, and do her due diligence, and do what God wants her to do, because we must reveal the truth to our people of what this man did. He has blighted generations of children's education. He has blighted the future of many young Jamaicans with his action, because of his greed. And gluttony is one of the deadliest sins ever. And if you cannot control what you take into yourself, then you're a glutton. And obviously, Rural Reid was a puppet, because this money did not stay there among himself and his cronies and his family. It was divided up, shared out. So all the persons who benefited from this $55 million the role we took from our Ministry of Education, you have a lot to answer to. And God is watching you because the tears of many children are on your shoulders right now. And Miss Kim Brown, you might have won the Brownstown division last year in the local government election, but that position is temporary. That seat must be burning you in the council right now. The sitting St. Anne's Bay, St. Anne's Parish Council, as an elected person, knowing that you have a case to answer before the court. That seat must be burning your bottom right now, Miss Kim Brown. I was so disappointed in you. As a young lady, didn't have the moral standing to stand up and say, let me sit this one out. But you still push forward, and the Jamaican people will now be faced to have a by-election in that division coming soon. And spending money, and yet their slogan was choose Jamaica, doing more for you. What? Doing more stealing? What? Doing more conning? Doing more by-elections than anybody else before what? This cannot go on anymore. Taxpayers need to have a record, needs accountability, need to be transparency. We taxpayers need to know what is going on, and we need people who are elected to be responsible when it comes to our taxpayers' money. We need fiscal responsibility of our elected people. And I yield the floor to you, Uncle Byron.
All right, well said, Pinks. But I want to just draw reference in terms of what you said, where Kim Brown is concerned. Because coming October 6th, and as I said, Kim Brown must be worrying. And the GLP will be facing an early by-election depending on the outcome of that case. So then if they found guilty, right, automatically, a by-election, right, will be definitely, right, up, right, where her constituency is concerned. And you rightly said, Pinkskew, right? I mean, terrible times, dark clouds over the Jamaica Labour Party, dark clouds, none too way about it. Now let us touch something that is really significant here. And let me come out and speak on it, right? Now we have some very serious criminal police officers in the force. And under this Andrew Holness-led administration, believe you me, it is so rampant. It's as if the government, right, is definitely creating ways and means for the criminal behavior of these police officers. Because when they are in the wrong, and even when the evidence plain as day, instead of the government response, they reserve dead silence. No, we can't run a country like this. Can't. And this again show you how corrupted the government is. Which case am I talking about? I'm not talking about the recent killing. We are going to get into that with that young man there. But there's a more serious situation where you have some of these police officers involved in gangs. Now let me show you this evidence. Right? Trial for the Ronco gang members. Police officers involved in gang. Right? I really don't understand what is going on in Jamaica. Here it is. Right? April 26th, trial for Ronco gang members. See the date here? September 25th, 2025, which is today, right? This is today, my people. 8 alleged members of the Clarendon-based Ronco gang, reportedly led by a police constable. You hear that, people? You hear that? Tafari, Silvera are scheduled to go on trial on April 13, 2026. What is going on in Jamaica, my people? The trial date was scheduled last Friday when the defendants appeared in the home circuit before Justice Leighton Pusey. A trial readiness hearing was also fixed for January 29 of next year. An earlier trial date had been booked for September 16, but was vacated due to the persistent absence of some of the defense lawyers other than sort of behavior there. Right? Silvera is among four constables, you know, people charged alongside 4 civilians in the matter, you know. Now look on this, people. Look on this. Constable Teniel Francis, David Henry, and Tevan Enriquez were remanded while bail was extended for the female accused, Josette Brown, Constables Danilo Barnes, and Ray J. Morrison, and Ovilgo Mackenzie. Mighty goodness. Now, so the police who we believe that, okay, they are here to protect and serve. Right? No, I mean, it's just that under Andrew Ones led government, the level of criminality that is so normalized. It's unbelievable. Right? The level of criminality that is so normalized. Silvera was first arrested in June 21. Make go into the case, people. After allegations surfaced that he had hired 2 hitmen to murder a police informant from Clarendon. You hear that? People, you really hear this? He faces conspiracy to murder charges alongside 2 civilians, Christopher Robinson and Mark Bennett, in a separate case. Now, the policeman, they carry out it, they pay for hitman for carry out it from people, you know. You now hear these people. The other defendants were arrested last March amid accusation of their involvement in the 27-member gang. Reports initially indicated that 8 police personnel were linked to the gang. People, Jamaica, listen good in terms of what this been unfolding here. With one fleeing the island when Silvera was apprehended. However, one cop was released after 2 complaints declined to cooperate with prosecutors regarding robbery allegations against him. Robbery allegations against him. And gangsterism. And it is the very same members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, different members, who have gone to a home, right? Went into the home, take out a gentleman, right? And then brought him back inside and have him killed. While look at what they are doing as it relates to the level of gang. Now, this is serious, Jamaica. The Ranko gang has been connected to 17 criminal incidents, including shootings, burglaries, robbery with aggravation, illegal possession of firearm, shop breaking, conspiracy to murder, and abduction allegedly committed across multiple parishes between 2019 and 2021. Take this away. Mighty God. Jamaica, we are under a crisis as it relates to leadership. And so then, if the head of the stream is dirty, corrupted, then everything that flows downward is going to be compromised and corrupted. And that is what is happening under Andrew Ones' administration. Now, when we look at what the police, the gangsters that, you know, they are in gangs and robbery and shooting and conspiracy to murder and all of these things that they are doing. take that very same look and look on Andrew Holness. Jumping from Ponzi scheme to Ponzi scheme, from Cash Plus to Wallet to SSL, getting, right, this person from India, because we're going to touch that Friday now. Friday, people, let me tell you something. We have some big things that come on Friday now. That's why I can't touch upon, today, journey. I have to touch it Friday. Friday, I have to touch some big things coming out in people. We have, you understand, this man from India, you understand, money laundering, as it relates to the allegation, as it relates to what we're looking at, right? As it relates to what we're looking at, people. So then, when the government, no, you have the Minister of National Security cannot travel. And why he cannot travel? Because in WikiLeaks, documented report that he involved in drugs, gun transshipment. Then, when you look at the policeman crime, you really realize that the criminality has been normalized. Has been normalized. Now, PSOJ pay no attention to this. Now, this is the Andrew Holness who semi-fight criminal. The PSOJ pay no attention to this. Because why? The PSOJ is getting the prime lands, getting the beaches, and so then, of course, they have to protect crony capitalism because that's how they eat their food, and they can't afford to bring down this government here. Because if they bring down this government here, Mark Golden policies is against them. You understand? And then they're now going to eat the food that they are eating. Spiritual wickedness in high and low places. And so then when you see the level of culpability as it relates to the government itself, who claiming that it is fighting crime and fighting corruption. When you hear Andrew Holness, right, talking about corruption, come on, people, can you imagine that someone who have his arm cannot sign the code of conduct? Let us reason, my Jamaican people. Someone who influences men not to sign the code of conduct because of the level of criminality that they involve in. Someone who is statutory declaration for 2021, 2022, and 2023, right? And going 2024, and if you put 10 more years on it, right? His statutory declaration cannot be certified. And as a result of his lie, previous statutory declaration, right, being affected. Now, I am not going to blame my Jamaican people, and yet all, right, to say Jamaican put him back in power, because that would not be true. And we can't be twisting ourselves in saying that, okay, all right, Jamaica did not put back Andrew Holness in power, and we are blaming some Jamaicans, you understand, who claim to have right, vote out PNP. So the two things can't work. So this is what is happening. Because of Andrew Holness know very well the level of criminality and the corruption that he involved, right? He had was to steal the general election. That now put him right back into the court as it relates to him and Paul Buchanan. We are going to see that revelation. And for that PSOJ and people who are trying to protect that this general election, you understand, run on high integrity. That's a facade. And they all know it. They all know it. Right? This case as it relates to Paul Buchanan, right, and Andrew Holness is going to now put, right, Glasspool Brown under the microscope automatically. Automatically. Because I can tell Glasspool Brown that after this case finalized, I will be the first platform that putting you up and dealing with you I am going to be the first platform that will be dealing with you. Right? And moving forward, Jamaica, we have to get the EOJ out of Andrew Holness' office. Me not going to tolerate him. And Jamaica must not tolerate that situation. I mean, I don't care what nobody wants to say. It is conflict of interest. And particularly when he is now planning to give Glasspool Brown award, order of distinction for what? What did Glasspool Brown done that is so significant, right? Different from other EOJ president. What did he do so special? The only thing that he had done so special is to help Andrew Holness steal the general election. Because Andrew Holness have a custom, have a MO, modus operandi, in terms of anointing people with blessings of corruption when they, you understand, definitely dive down in the corruption with him. We have seen that he take, right, Dushi and Savadia and gave him ambassador. But people, you see when me a melting pot and pinks run out Friday, a bangarang, you know. Bangarang, you know, people. That's why we say we could put that off because that's on fire. We could put that to Friday. Friday we are run out with that. And so then, no matter what Big Mama do and Draws Davis do, you are not going to divert us away from not discussing this situation with Dushiant. You're not going to bring up situations with Damian Crawford and believe we are going to come off, because that is what Jamaica need to know, and we need to expose him for what he is. Let me warn. The general election, the election, the recall that is coming up, because I know that the recall is going to come up with Paul Buchanan and the Prime Minister. He will not monitoring anything from Big Mama Station. Vivo. Me are calling out. Nobody believes on go dibble back that in it, you know. That's why I am calling it out for what it is right now, you know. To make sure say you know better stand back, you know. Right? And make the recall run on its merit. A justice we want, you know. Justice we want. We don't want a government that force on themselves onto the people when they know that they are corrupted and trying to hide themselves away from prosecution. No, it's not going to work, Andrew Holness. It's not going to work. Andrew Holness, you are going to go into the judiciary. And I am dead serious. So let me tell you something, Andrew Holness. All the gallivant where you are gallivant and all the things where you do you know. You understand? You do them with all of your best and your energy what you can do right now. Because things coming up to bump. You hear this song? Things are come up to bump. And I am telling you, right, that it is going to happen faster than what you believe. Remember, you know, Andrew Holness, you know, have no two-third power again, you know, where you can go run and go rig up something, you know. And then you have the Governor General, the sign off on it for you know. You know, have that again, you know, Andrew. We defeat that, you know. You know, have that again in the box. We have that in our lap now, you know. So going, you have to come good, you know, as it relates to consensus government and my golden one here is going to hold you accountable. Let me give you another reflection as it relates to Damian Crawford. One by one, they will be going to jail, and at this time, let me bring in the sledge. Sledge, rope in.
Yes, sir, Byron. You know, I want to just touch upon the security side of things in the country, you know, and how deplorable it has become since Andrew Holness' administration is in order. I mean, we have seen where, you know, the Minister of National Security is known to be, you know, related in criminal activity as it relates to drugs trafficking, money laundering, and all these things, and also being a figurehead person of a known gang in the West, a gang known as Stone Crusher Gang. Okay? But me could look further afield, right? Because that send a message, you know, to everybody who is under his ministry. The commissioner, we know the commissioner is a fraud commissioner. The two successive commissioner, yeah, in recent time. Anderson and Blake, they are fraud. Yeah, they are not real police to be commissioner in the first place. In the case of Anderson, he's an army man. But I won't tell the people why him come over. But I'm coming to that. Now, when you look at the DPP, who's supposed to be, you know, the person who deliver justice to the nation, you see where she compromise and have a criminal mentality as well. The Justice Minister Chuck, him not have no credibility. And when you look at the Prime Minister now, who is the Chief of Staff for all of these people I'm talking about, him also in a corruption. Yeah, so we expect the police them to do. Police them go farm gang, them go in a drugs trafficking too, them go sell gun too, them go sell gunshot same way. Cause them realize who above them, yeah, filthy in a corruption. So why we are going to stay down here and go on like we don't want to be a part of the whole fanfare. So them staying up themselves. You understand? Because of the case when you say Andrew draft for this guy, Google Gaga, you know, Anderson, you know. And when Google Gaga, Anderson, and Andrew come do, change the outlook of a police officer. You see that traditional uniform there? The red seam and the blue seam with your hat with your number upon it. That is the pride and joy of our police force. Yeah? And for that change and start to resemble military. Yeah, this blue denim with Jamaica flag and not more. Yeah, with balaclava, with rucksack on back. Yeah, that look like a military. That is why we know Andrew Holness want to change the society into a dictatorship where you even have the military on the street. So we don't have any more police. What we have is military and thief. That is what Andrew Holness along with Google Gaga and this orchestrate. Yeah? Because you cannot bring a man from the army, you know, yeah, to preside over civilian police. No, you don't have the expertise, you don't have the experience, you don't have the know-how. You understand? And you've never been working in that capacity. But these are one of the first and many of the first that Andrew Holness utilized in Jamaica. Yeah? Because the first Prime Minister to take a man from the army and make him into Commissioner of Police. Yeah? The first Prime Minister where we know statutory declaration cannot be certified. Yeah? The first Prime Minister, Mr. Smart Jugger coming to the country and I know him out no weapon. You understand? The first Prime Minister will get level 4 travel advisory on security and crime. Yeah? And the first Prime Minister was to protect all the criminals them where Jamaica know about, where rob taxpayers' money. Yeah? Because him of himself is a criminal, so him orchestrate and organize criminal network around him. You can imagine you as a Prime Minister have your Ministry of National Security and him can't travel, but you can't sack him. And you hear him have a gang. Eh? So when you see the police, them have them gang called the Ranko gang, you know, it's surprising, my brother. Because there's no law and order in Jamaica since Andrew take over the place. Andrew take over the place and want to have the citizens of the country scared of them own Jamaica. That's what Andrew do. And come and chat a bag of lie because who I interview him just accept the lie. Because me couldn't be a journalist or interview Andrew. And Andrew tells so much lie, I mean not stop him, Yeah. Me could never be that journalist that interview Andrew and make him just a lie more through every question when I ask him. And me not stop him in his track. So Andrew get away with a lot of things. Because the Prime Minister is not the brightest person in Jamaica, The Prime Minister don't have to be the brightest person because the brightest people them don't go into politics. Yeah, and what Andrew do? Andrew, yeah, take away the people's them favoritism. Because people always say, boy, you want somebody from down or get up to be Prime Minister. Well, the first time we get somebody out of the ghetto, because Andrew is a ghetto boy. And the worst Prime Minister we get. We want the Prime Ministerial role go back to people from the upper scale. Me no care, right? Jamaica want that. So in Mark Golding, me see a man with that. You understand? That Mark Golding have the caliber to be the Prime Minister. Because under Mark Golding, I know the Minister of National Security would never appear in a WikiLeaks to the type of breach them as it relates to drugs trafficking and money laundering. And Mark Golding not get rid of him. I know a guy like Royal Reid couldn't take 55 million and Mark Golding not get rid of him. Weekly couldn't do it with Petrojob and Mark Golding not get rid of him and prison him. Yeah, Favour Williams with the education money too. Mark Golding would have get rid of that. Mama call Mark Golding would have get rid of that same way. And should have to pay more than what she pay. She don't pay nothing to the amount of money where she rip off. It's a slap on the wrist for that rimple. You understand? And no police couldn't come and farm the young under Mark Golding leadership. As a matter of fact, the commissioner would have been a real commissioner too. Not a Google too. And we uniform would remain intact. We don't need to change to no denim. This denim look ugly and outrageous and scary. Because that is what Andrew is trying to exhibit across the nation. Yeah, scare tactics. You must afraid of them when you see them come. Policeman are, let me tell you about policeman in the UK. Where we live right now. Are one of the most friendly citizens. They stop, they interact, they have a laugh, they chat, they go about the business. And they don't walk around with big long gun. Yeah? Pepper spray and handcuff. That's all. Body camera.
Because they are similar.
So I want to know why Jamaica cannot adopt that same type of principle. No gang cannot form in the police force in England, what we call the Metropolitan Police. It cannot occur there. And this is a bigger place for them hide vast amount of woodland. You understand? More people for them cluster around, but they can't do it because everywhere camera up. And there's certain protocol that cannot be breached as it relates to gang. Them can't do other things what them do, Don't get me wrong. They're not squeaky clean, but they cannot go beyond and form no gang where it relates to several murders and all these things and gun-related circumstance, shooting and robbery. And where policemen are take out it from police informant. So me now give police station information about certain things. That piece of shit when him Silvera. You understand? What him do now? Him take offense to my information that I give to the police and take out it on me. What can go so? Him should have charged long time. From it known to the fact and the circumstance of when carry out. You don't need a long deliberation with them garbage there. Call them they are criminal in a criminal with gun. Yeah. I wear police uniform and have police badge and police gun. But them have for them own gun. Cause remember, I know everybody get police gun to carry home, One man I know used to get a 16 Chucky Brown. And him get all car and all these things. And that happened under Labour government with Owen Ellington. Yeah, back at them time, I used to have to Chucky Brown. Everybody know Chucky Brown demise. You understand? Because Chucky Brown wasn't really a policeman as such. Chucky Brown go on special duty, you know. Special Rasta and all them things there and them garbage that the Labour Party keep up, you know. And so everybody realized, oh, I saw that party around the thing. This party I give you a lot of leverage as policeman. We can't do a lot of things. Yes, so it's a policeman rape, using service vehicle, having a wheel of a time. We see all the soldier them on video, a boogie, yeah, and it a be a garbage go on, you know. So we are look for Andrew Wallace as a mafia guy. I'm tell the people them over and over. Andrew another prime minister. Yeah, Andrew is a mafia. I use the prime minister office and parliament. I be a robbery and bully for corruption Andrew involved in that. Yeah. Because you see taxpayers' money where you see gone all about. Have to come back, some have to come back to him, you know. I'm a part of the scheme. Because you can't tell me, say, me are the head civil servant in our country. So much of my work of them can rob so much money, I mean, I send them to prison. Unless me a part of it, them can't go to prison. But if I'm not involved, they are going to prison.
Exactly. Exactly.
So we don't need to ask no question beyond what we see. How can a leader have so much things that look on all him farmer liar, man? Yeah. Where the man get dead in our house. And this man saying back big like shop shutter. Him back broad like a shop shutter. Arrogance to them have. It begs us to believe. You understand? And how many years now? How many years now? And this guy still enjoy outer world. Him not the behind bars. Them give him all bed rest. So it's just a continuation of Andrew Wallace administration and how corrupt it is. And the police now are now benefiting from a corrupt leader. That's why the force is operating like this. The commissioner is not a real commissioner. Them have a guy named Dennis Brook where them say I'm a strategist. Him not supposed to even there in a thing and him get over 12 million a year. 12 million a year. Dennis Brook is one of the highest paid district constable because that's where him start out. And that was just recently. Now he's on 12 mil. You understand? But I know Dennis Brook is not taking home that 12 million. Because who bring Dennis Brown up there, so? Andrew them, you know. So them salary, Dennis Brook get a part of it. Andrew get the majority. I mean, I put them out of ground. I saw Andrew around the place. Quit for crow. I give you this, you give me that.
Yes.
I put you here upon a salary, make sure now I get back my percentage. You understand? So I saw the country around. Yeah, so Andrew can't talk to critical thinkers like me and Byron and Pinkskew and Lonesome and the people who sit down and I look into him background. Him couldn't talk to me like how I see him talk to some journalists. Yeah, before the election and I tell them all type of corruption and him say some key thing in it, some keynotes when me I come lick them with on Friday night.
All right.
You understand? Cause me like me listen to them interview cause them must that shit out of them mouth, you know. That is of substance to hold them accountable, you know. And me don't have them sit down pan already to come lick him with tomorrow night. And come show the people them say, see him keep point them, yeah. Them here hold him pan. Cause you see it a play out. He never did tell the lie. But you have to listen to him psychology style where him use. And then put it into play and look on it. It's crystal clear. Yeah. Him talk something very relevant to what happened September the 3rd. Because I was so confident, I'm tell Nancy Andrew say, him always make him ego get the better of him.
Yes.
That's why him chat things before it really manifests, before it happens. You see it play out. We no fool. We go school, you know. Andrew not go to school, you know. Andrew go a little upgraded high school. It was a secondary school. Upgraded. You understand? And on traditional nothing. Andrew come with the worst student out of St. Catherine. Remember me tell you now. And the worst graduate from St. Catherine. You can't believe it. A man will become prime minister, but the worst student graduated from that school. Not even the youth about we're going to do robbery and get gunned down. Because you know say them that try to survive. And you get gold spoon where him never ban 9 out. And look what him do with the gold spoon. Him turn it in a brass. Brass him turn the gold spoon in a. Yeah? This guy no like nothing that is of substance. Him like for water down thing and turn it in a corruption and I yield back the floor.
Wonderful punch, melting pot. Right. And let me just bring Sister Pinks right on the rally. Right. Yes, Sister Pinks. Go ahead.
Yes, Uncle Byron, as our favorite comrade leader, say all the time that the head of the stream dirty, you know what happened on the bottom too. And if you look at the head of the Minister of Security, let us start with him. Who can travel? Who can go through airport right now? Who do you think is the biggest gun importer into the island right now? Who do you think distribute guns to the youths in Northwest St. James and have the community being traumatized for over a decade now? Young mothers crying for their baby fathers, mothers crying for their sons because they have the seduction of using the youths, of taking up the guns. And when they get tired of them, they send the same police to harm them. Now, when you look at the police force, how much graduates every year, how much enter every year, and how much stay in Jamaica to work every year. Look at that percentage. The percentage that stay, who stay honest and who stay dishonest. And what are the reasons for them to stay dishonest? Because one of the psychology that Seaga has been teaching his disciples from day one is to always keep the people around you hungry so they all back for more. So the police is
Okay, well, apparently our internet went out. So let me just smoothly take over until she gets back in. Now, the level of, brutality, right? Extrajudiciary killings, right, that take place within the Jamaica Constabulary Force under the administration of Andrew Holness. I mean, it is serious, right? So we wonder if you are operating a police state, right? Now, let us get back into okay, Spinks, back in the space. All right, let me just have Spinks finish up. Yes, Spinks, sister, go ahead.
are you hearing me now? I'm sorry about that. There's a weather going on in the Caribbean area. It's affecting the Wi-Fi here.
Okay.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Go ahead, Spinks.
Yeah, as I was saying, the Minister of Security designed this that the police officers are just being paid enough to keep them hungry enough to want for more, and that is why most of them are involved in gangs and all the corruption in the police department. And until we can clear up their overtime pay and start to treat
Hello, good afternoon. Hold the line.
Okay, all right. Something happened to Spinks. Let me just come right in there. Right. Let me just bring this caller on. Good evening, caller. You're on Mystic Sensation Live. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Good evening. It's your comrade from South Florida, my brother. It's a pleasure talking to you and the crew.
Blessings, my brother.
And I'm enjoying the program. You're really touching the key point on some issues, my brother.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add a couple of things and a couple of questions that I have that maybe you can answer.
Okay.
Seeing that the election is passed and we have seen the atrocities and the crime that commit during the government the recent elections, we have to move on, and my question to you is, seeing that the PNP is not does not have any recourse to challenge the election because it's all evidence based and there's not enough evidence to adjudicate the crimes that was committed. What is the next course of action for the PNP? What are they looking at? What are they moving forward to next, and what are they looking forward to next? Do you have any idea?
Okay, a very good question as it relates to, but I want to address a point in terms of what you said, that, you know, not having the adequate evidence to adjudicate the issues. So I will definitely go contrary with you on that. Now, what the People's National Party is focusing on as it relates to their budgetary discipline, let us say that, right? As it relates to how much of these cases that we can take on, right, to bring them in the court in terms of the amount of money, capital, the amount of money that we have, just basically. So then what the People's National Party strategy is in terms of what, you know, I am looking on is to look on the most vital case in terms of, okay, we want to look on this case, study this case, right, gather all the evidence, right, and deal with this particular case, because if we, right, definitely becomes victorious on this particular case, then this is what we call the head of the snake. So we are going for the head of the snake. Simply means the case with Paul Buchanan and Andrew Holness, that is going to what you call a domino effect or a ripple effect, right? Now, a ripple effect in terms of, say, let us bring up some scenario now. Paul Buchanan becomes victorious of this case that he had now put into the court. That is going to cripple the Jamaica Labour Party as it relates to them now vying for, you know, a leadership who is going to lead the Jamaica Labour Party going forward. That within itself is going to be crippling to the Jamaica Labour Party. Secondly, Andrew Holness will not have the protection of the government. And so then whatever cases that, you know, in the dark clouds for him coming down as it relates to Integrity Commission investigation, right, and other, you know, issues, and some of the issues as it relates to investigation that Melton Pot and myself are digging right now, right, is definitely significant. And so then when you look at that, right, in terms of strategy, right, I think Mark Golding is on the best political strategy in taking on, right, dealing with and processing the Paul Buchanan case. What say you on the matter?
Okay, you're more optimistic than I am. And one of the reasons why I say that is because we live here in the U.S. and we've seen when you have power and you have your appointees in key judicial areas, key service areas, and key law enforcement areas, how difficult it is and how powerful you can get from having these key appointments. Andrew Holness over the years has taken a page out of Trump playbook.
All right, hold on the caller. Sorry to you know, to inject you here, but let me say something, because the scenario that you're bringing forward, you're bringing forward a scenario as it relates to a PNP having 14 members. You are not bringing that. I don't think you're bringing that scenario, knowing to the fact that you understand that sort of paradigm being shifted. You understand Mark Golding doesn't have 14, he has 28. So when it comes to legislating, right, particularly that requires 2/3, how Andrew Holness is going to do it? I want you to tell me that. How is he going to do it?
No. And I'm not disputing the legislative aspect of the governance, okay, in terms of the PNP and the JLP. I'm dealing with the the legal issues that are outstanding and the legal issues that we first reference, that the challenges that the PNP has in court in regards to Andrew teaching him seat. And what I was saying is that I have seen here in the US when there's key appointments to certain areas, how difficult a task it is to challenge these things within the judicial system. Case in point here in the US, where there's several challenges against leadership in regards to civil rights issues, in regards to legislative issues, and they get either hung up in the court or they get to the Supreme Court, which is politically appointed, and it gets shut down. And I'm saying to you is that in regards to the legal issues in Jamaica, we have seen where Andrew Holness have appointed, he has taken a page from the Trump playbook, and he's appointed the Minister of Justice, who we all know should never be a Minister of Justice. The criminal DPP, and they're about to put another criminal DPP in office, and I don't think there's anything that the PNP can do to stop it, because these are appointees by the Prime Minister, and he's tactically appointing people in key areas. We look at the IC. He's weakening the IC with appointments. All of the judicial areas to hold politicians accountable to the courts. The first thing they did was give the judges 100% raise. Nowhere in the world has that ever happened, where judges get 100% raises. It has never happened in the Caribbean or nowhere in the world. You only do these things when you're seeking political favors and positioning yourself with the judicial system so you can be exonerated for crimes committed. You only bolster up the judges when you want something, favors. So that was the first thing that they did, and that was a play that was taken from the Trump playbook when Trump did his the Supreme Court appointments.
Yes.
So if and this just didn't just start happen today. Andrew is stupid in a lot of ways because he shows his hand a lot of times, but he's also tactical.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is that how is he? You're optimistic in saying that these things are going to be adjudicated in the court.
Yes.
But what court are we talking about?
All right. Let me say something to you.
What the agencies and all of these things. I am very skeptical of all of the judicial system, the law enforcement, and all of that. All of these bodies. Even I'm very skeptical of the IC right now.
Okay. All right. I heard you, right, and I understand your concern, my Carlo, right, and I like the concerns that you have. Right, and I really welcome this conversation. But let me say something to you. I am 100% sure, as it relates to our jurisprudence, how tight our jurisprudence is. Now, as it relates to the appointments that you're talking about, you understand? Now, he only can go thus far with those appointments, and let me explain to you. So, with all of the appointments, right, in terms of your reference. Now, when it comes to the judiciary, right, Andrew Holness has no power there. And I'm going to explain to you. Mark Golding, as it relates to his 14-member, right, several times where Andrew Holness make attempt to breach the Constitution, Mark Golding brought him into the judiciary, and what happened? The judiciary ruled in favor of Mark Golding. Now, having said that, where Mark Golding is much more powerful now, right? Now, the fact of the matter, right, as it relates to his appointment, you want to appoint this and want to appoint that. That appointment, in terms of influence of that appointment, cannot manipulate the judiciary. And I am 100% confident cannot manipulate the judiciary, because time and time that we have proven, as it relates to Mark Golding, as a matter of fact, Mark Golding has taken roughly about between 8 to 9 cases right, against Andrew Honest and Mark Golding, victorious on all of them. All of them.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Can I interject your mistake?
Yes, go ahead.
Constitutional cases are different from criminal cases.
Yes, I know.
The burden of proof is totally different.
Yes, I know.
And yes, Mark Golding as a scholar and a very astute lawyer, in constitutional issues will win those cases.
Yes.
And so but my concern is the criminal cases. For example, the case, the illicit enrichment case, Royal Reed case, all of these cases that are outstanding.
Hold on, Carla, let me correct you. Hold on, Carla. You have to understand that the Rural Reed case, right, is now in the judiciary. That's where it is. That's the status of Rural Reed's case, right? It has nothing in terms of, you understand, might be you can put down, right? It is now tuned for trial. It is in the judiciary.
Okay. Yes. Yes, but we can see efforts as to where they're trying to suppress the case, trying to throw out the case. We have heard the most absurd arguments about can't find people. This is not a case based on visual evidence. This is a paper case, a case of paper trail. So when you hear these absurd, ridiculous statements, Mystic, like they're 15% of this for we can't find 15% of witnesses. That has nothing to do with the case.
Exactly.
The case is not based on witness. It's based on paper trail.
Yes.
And the deaf, dumb, and blind could figure that out, Mystic. But when you hear these kind of arguments being thrown out, you know exactly where they're going.
Yes.
Because we have seen it. We've seen it over and over in the Jamaica judicial system, where they use statute, time, and all of these things to throw cases out. So why do we think that any of these cases, the Andrew Honest case, the Royal Reed case, all of these criminal cases that's within the court is going to be any different?
But Carla, let us be fair. We have to be fair in terms of how we cast judgment, right, on an ongoing situation. And the reason why I am saying that, right, I understand your concerns, and your concerns are genuine. Let me give you that. But I am saying that, right, as it relates to even the clip that I showed this morning in terms of the judge is saying to them, you understand, in terms of their readiness, the judge is hell-bent that he's going to try. Now, I don't have all the evidence, right, looking at all of these evidence. The judge have all of those evidence, right, between the judge, the prosecutor, and the defense lawyers, right? So we are not privy to all the evidence. It would be wrong for us, right, to, prejudging a judgment that is not yet, you understand, being tried, a case that has not yet been tried. And of course, we are casting doubt on the system, right, without not anticipating, right, the judge on the trial of the case, right? I understand your concerns. And your concerns are genuine. But I am also saying that let us, give the judiciary a chance for it to work, right? Because we might be passing judgment, and then October the 6th, the judge find them guilty. What we would be saying then? We don't want to do that. Right, so please make we just anticipate, right, as it relates to our public opinion, right, our well-learned friends, the judge, the prosecutor, the lawyers, who are privy to the evidence and what they are viewing or what they are reviewing, you understand, will make a determination on October the 6th, right, where that is concerned. But as I said, Carla, I really do understand your concerns. Your concerns are legitimate because we are dealing with a kleptocratic government. You understand?
Yes.
And I understand where you are going as a result of the sort of corruption coming out of this government. But one thing,
just don't mean to cut you, but my concern is based on the fact that we have seen it before happen under this government. We have seen these kind of judicial practices take place.
All right, let me show you something.
Let me show you
something. I'm going to give you one particular case where I can just give you back some confidence. And I understand how you feel. I understand where you're coming from. Now, listen this. We have seen where Andrew Honest, as it relates to the awarding of contracts to Gavin, and where the corruption prosecutor look at that and partially file 30 in the case, right? And I understand that is one of your concern as well. Now, the thing is, if you notice what transpired from then, as it relates to the criminal justice systems and components of the criminal justice system, who are now in terms of the new way forward in having a new, right, integrity commission chief, right? Remember that they even told Prince Kamika not to even apply. Not to even apply. So then you have to understand that her actions, right, hurt the criminal justice system and hurt components of the criminal justice system who identified that what she had done was wrong. So then now going forward, they are now telling her, don't even apply because your application is automatically not going to be considered. That within itself, my God, had given me hope in saying that all is not lost. From the struggle there, right, you have people standing up for justice. And where we have a new integrity commission chief and a new corruption prosecutor, right? Let us hold our heads high, right? And just anticipate what is going on. I am telling you, with all of my confidence, knowing the judiciary, right? And I will defend the judiciary, that, trust me, this administration is going to have some consequences. No joke about that. What say you on the matter, Carla?
So you think that their criminal acts and atrocities over the last 10 years they'll be held accountable for?
I am saying that to you 100%, not hesitating, 100%. And I might put 10 more percent on it.
Mystic, I am going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
But if it doesn't happen,
yes,
we will be having this conversation
again. And I trust me, we will have it. But
I trust me, I am of the same sentiment. I would love for it to happen, and I hope that it do. I'm really hoping that it do, because this is the only way the country is going to be able to move forward and turn a leaf. And if it doesn't happen, we will never turn the page. You know, it will be corruption as usual. Another concerning thing to me, Mystic, is that we have heard the political rhetoric coming from the government, which is the same old stuff: road and water, road and water. Road and water is basic necessities of every government to provide for the country.
Agreed.
My question is, have you heard any plan for the government telling private investors, business owners, small business manufacturers how they're going to attack the issue of tariffs? Have you heard anything from the government? Any plan from Andrew Holness telling the country that?
No. I haven't heard that.
So how are they governing then?
You know, it's a very I don't know if people really understand in terms of the question that you ask. Right? It's a very solid question, right? Because the issue of tariff, right, is a concern, and you have heard Andrew Holness as it relates to his lies, saying to people that, right, his administration, right, had no new taxes, right? And then one would ask the question in terms of, you know, well thinkers like you and myself, right? Then when you have a budget, right, in comparison to a Portia Simpson budget, which was $600 billion a year, and your budget, right, is $1.3 trillion. How did you get that over 100% difference? So,
you know,
I see where you're going.
I am disappointed in the country, not only because of the election mistake,
yes,
but I'm disappointed in civil society, the PSOJ,
yes,
because I hate to say the Jamaican media because I do not recognize Jamaica as having any media. Those are people with stem from nepotism and cronyism.
Yeah,
so
political
I
approach.
Never ever consider any medium in Jamaica or anyone in Jamaica, journalists, or consider them a media. They are just there for them just licky and from hand to mouth. So I do not consider media. But the people that has the microphone, no one has yet to ask the government this question of how are they going to govern with the 10% tariff from the US, because every single thing in Jamaica is based off is coming from the US. Everything is coming, 99% of what they consume come from the US and China. Yes. How are they going to manage these tariffs? And because it's going to trickle down into the small business owners, yes. It's going to trickle down to the small manufacturing people. And without a plan, as an investor, and as a business person, I would never look at Jamaica as a viable country for me to do business, to invest in, because there's nothing coming out of the country that tells me I'm going to be successful. There's nothing coming out of the country that tells me that I can do business in Jamaica and be successful. So how Mike, I'm very concerned. How are they moving forward with this? Because another thing is that remittance is going to be cut in half. Because you cannot send any money to Jamaica, period, unless you're a citizen. And we know that the majority of money being sent to Jamaica, at least 75% of what was being sent to Jamaica was being sent by people who were legal, who were securing themselves back home. People who are secure here don't send money back to Jamaica like that. Okay?
Well,
so remittance is going to be cut. And so how is the country going? What's the economic plan for the country? I've not heard an economic plan. I've heard roads and water, which I hear people jumping about roads and water as if roads and water is an economic plan. But if you're not producing and people not investing from overseas, factories, and companies, what's the plan?
Well, let me say, in terms of the tariff, because that is very serious in terms of what is going to definitely roll out in more inflation for us as it relates to tariff being imposed. So I understand where you're going, and then the country not producing, right? And there is no plan as it relates to Andrew Holness' mandate. He didn't even exhibit a mandate going into the general election.
Let me ask a question. Didn't he promise to raise the minimum wage to $32 an hour?
Yes, but over a protracted period. That is going to be done over 5 years. So he was saying that in 2026, right, that should reach 18,000. Right, the minimum wage, and then between 2026 to the next election, right, then that will roll in. That again a madness. Me and you know that a madness, because again, for him to do that, the country have to be producing. The country have to be producing, which tantamount to growing our GDP. So how is he going to do that?
So these are things that we got to hold his foot to the fire from.
Exactly. Mark Bolling told him.
We can't let these things go unsaid, Mystic. We cannot let it go unsaid. If minimum wage is not $18,000 by next year, we're going to ask him why.
Well, my brother, and that is one of the reasons why we have to be serious, right, as it relates to getting out this government, and definitely, you understand, of people, right, serve their penalty as it ought to be, right? But I mean, it is what it is, right? Because I don't know how they are spinning it. I think I still believe that we are in a recession, right?
It's not Mystic. If things here are that difficult in the US,
Yes.
it can't be that good in Jamaica.
Exactly, my brother.
It can't be this bad and that good in Jamaica. It's impossible.
Right.
Impossible. So we're not. I don't think we need to even question if there's a recession, because we can see the hunger.
Yes.
We can hear the hunger.
Yes.
We can see it. You know what I mean? And let's not fool ourselves, because we go to Jamaica and we see people, a handful of people with big car and big houses. You know what I mean? That's not real.
Yes.
Because as we all know, 90% of what we see in Jamaica is not real. You know what I mean? It's all camouflage.
Definitely.
When we go on the streets, we see the real Jamaica. We see the people sitting on the roadside. We see the people. We see thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who can't work. You go country. You go to the corner shop. You see 20, 30 young men standing there. You know, I kick a milk box or a liquor ball, I smoke a cigarette, and might have a soda under them hand. So you can't tell me that things are working in Jamaica. It's just not.
Him no say,
you know what I mean?
Him no say the unemployment rate is 3%, sir. That's what he said.
Yeah, but mistake. If me I sell peanut on a Saturday evening, am I employed?
No, certainly not.
If me go work for one day, go wash a car, am I employed?
No, but as according to Andrew Wallace, you are.
You're employed. You're employed.
Madness.
You know, so let's ask the questions. When you say the things, let's ask the people the questions. Are you employed? And just everybody is employed. Young man, you out there wash a car window. Are you employed, and by who? Do you pay taxes? To whom? These are the questions we need to ask. We need to ask. Don't ask Andrew. Ask the people. Because it's just all made up and make believe.
It's crazy.
And it, you know, we I don't know how they're going to govern. I don't know how they're going to be able to turn the page, because when we look at the cabinet, it's same or the same. It's the same or the same.
Same old same.
The same old story, the same old faces, the same old playbook that he has put. And I understand why. Because when you're corrupt, you're tied into certain things. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I understand that. But then, for the greater good of the country, what are we doing? Where are we going? You know, and it's a shame that Mark Golding lost the election. It's a shame. And I hate to say that Mark Golding didn't lose the election.
Because I was about to correct you on that.
People didn't step forward. Did not step forward, because we saw the crowds, we saw the enthusiasm, and I do hope that the PNP have learned from this. Don't let the crowd be your direction. We have to get commitments, and we have to do a better job at the polls. And I think they have. I listened to Mark Golding, and I think they have learned their lessons.
Yes.
And one thing I know is that the Jamaica Labour Party was very, very strategical in what they did. They focused on 10 seats, and they dumped a ton of the money on 10 seats. And unlike the local government election where people took the money and voted PNP, this time, you know what they did? They make sure you dip your finger first and then peel you so you can't vote. What? Them strategic.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, you see, now that we learned, right, of everything, right, going forward, it is definitely going to be different. And that is one of the reasons why I can say to you, Carla, that is one of the reasons why I am onto a particular guy in terms of certain investigation. Right? I hope you tune in Friday. You understand, we are going to highlight much more.
Yes.
And they are fretting because they know definitely the door that we are knocking on. Yeah.
Mystic, my brother, I enjoy the show. Keep up the good work. We got to keep the fight going. You know, we can't.
Thank you, my brother.
No, it's not the time to surrender. No, it's not the time to yield. No, it's the time to turn up the fire, man. And
definitely.
I'll be calling in from time to time and asking my questions, my brother.
And I appreciate your call, man. Really appreciate your dialogue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
Blessings. All right. Let us
chicken part 1,200.
Oh, see, D. Maria said what? 3 pounds of chicken parts is $1,200. A big Lasco is $650. Bread, $530. Jesus, peace. Boy, I tell you, rough for John Shop. What Jocelyn said, I buy only Linstead Market Aki at Amazon. Okay. All right. Let us get into the situation in terms of we had gone through showing about policemen involved in gang carrying out robberies, abduction and all the wrongs. And so then, we are in a leadership crisis because of a corrupted, a kleptocratic government that we definitely need to get rid of. Let us get into, you want to call him up?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let us, okay. Someone was calling us 4 times. Let us see if we can get that person back online.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, my sister.
Melting pot.
Blessings.
How are you?
All
I
right.
see some nasty thing that they're trying to say about Paul Buchanan now, and it's not nice.
Yes.
Is that the way Andrew coming to now so desperate?
Well, I mean, remember, you have to understand, my sister, that what Andrew Wallace is facing, is now in front of the prison door. It is just that we need to just hang on a little longer, and push him through the judiciary. From once Andrew Wallace goes into the judiciary, he's over. I am not asking that.
Yeah.
I'm not asking that, sister.
Is what he's saying. They're saying about this Paul Buchanan. All they want is Andrew to keep the seat, and he didn't win the seat, and he must fight to the end.
Well,
what they're saying is not, he got to fight. Don't give up. Don't let the blackmailing that they're doing with Karen Cross and this woman. Don't stop.
Exactly.
It is very not. At least he didn't thief and he didn't murder or he didn't rape anyone. Huh? I'm telling you, this Karen Cross is a pit from hell. Huh? And all Andrew is doing is to try and degrade people. All we must tell our people that support the PNP, don't mention anything what come from Big Mama or the JLP bloggers. Just ignore it. They're trying to take our attention away from what is really the big problem.
Exactly.
The big problem, the elephant in the room is 28.
Yeah.
And he's a nasty piece of work. And I don't care what they say. Every man is there to their own choice. I left school at 14, right? But I am not stupid, right? And I'm 78 years old, sir, and I'm not stupid. I might not pronounce the words like, some people, but I know Andrew is a nasty piece of work.
Oh, yeah.
He's Satan from hell.
Not too about that.
And I thank you so much, you, the wife, and everyone on your program, Mr. Lonesome, Mr. Rattigan, and everyone that is, rooting for the PNP. I am a PNP, and I tell you, if the Lord let me live to see, I am going. If there's an election call, I want to be in Jamaica.
All right.
You understand? But I will never come back to Jamaica to live. Never. When I decided to retire, I retired with my husband to come to Barbados. And it's the best move I make. And a lot of people want to come back to Jamaica, but they do not want to come back when Andrew is in power. I've got family in the United States and in England and Canada wants to come home. At least 5 of them buy their house, but they're afraid to come because Andrew is there.
Exactly.
Andrew is there. And sir, thank you very much for taking my call, madam.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much here. But as I say, maybe I not pronounce my word the right way. Forgive me, yes?
No, it's okay. It's okay, my sister.
Yeah, but Andrew is a nasty piece. I just can't, every time you talk about his name, I lower the volume. I cannot stand the man. I don't want to hear his name.
All right.
And it's nearly all my family is like that. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Our blessings.
Blessings.
All right. So we have what? Less than 24 minutes to wrap up, because we'll be getting back on Titans later. We can't miss Titan for nothing, right? So we are going to be on the Titan. So we just want to use 24 minutes in just wrapping up this fast. Just quick 1-2 between Melting Pot and myself. Now let us play this clip as it relates to this situation, because we have not spoken about it as it relates to the police killing of that young guy, and we are just going to put our thoughts to it, right? All right. Now here it is, my Jamaican people. Indicom, 23 officers but no body cams in Clarendon fatal raid, deceased not named and warrant. Now this is madness, so we don't have to go further into this. So let us take that away. As we said, we are quickly breezing through, right? Let us go to the next clip, and then Melting Pot and I will break that down, right? Play the next clip.
Let me just take that off.
You see, when you have a cruel government ruling a nation, then that nation suffers. And that is what is happening today in Jamaica. A lot of people are suffering, right, as a result of a corrupted government. It's just, unbelievable.
Corrupt police. Man shot dead. 22-year-old Jamar Farharson, the young man whose death has now ignited fury in Clarendon. Jamar was shot dead Monday in Cherry Tree Lane, Clarendon, during a police operation. Lawmen claim he pulled a firearm on them while they were executing a search warrant. But his family is calling foul play, saying this was an extrajudicial killing. Loved ones released a clip online showing Jamar opening the door, hands raised above his head, before cops pushed him aside and entered. The video ends there, leaving the alleged confrontation unseen. Police, however, insist they recovered a gun from the scene. Now his family says Jamar was innocent and are preparing to protest in May Pen. Another heated clash between the community and the JCF, with questions swirling. Was this justice or was this execution?
And then, of course, Melting Pot and myself will discuss that. Right, Global Star, let us get into this.
Residents of Cherry Tree Lane in Clarendon took their frustration about a police fatal shooting in the area to the streets of the capital May Pen, including outside the police station.
Family protest after police on a live 22-year-old man in Cherry Tree Lane, Clarendon. CCTV footage shows the young man willingly opens the door for a group of policemen to enter his home. He was unarmed during police entry. 22-year-old Jamar was live in confrontation with the police force. It's alleged that the victim was armed, led to his demise, but there is no real evidence to prove this young man was a criminal. Family of 22-year-old believe that the police planted a weapon on scene and they need justice.
Now if you're innocent, just come in for work. Alex, I want the most humblest youth you can think of.
Independent Commission of Investigations, Indicom, is investigating the incident.
Let us know what's your thoughts in the comment section.
All right, let me just deal with this situation, right, in terms of, certain knowledgeable experience. Now let us talk about the warrant, right? If you have a warrant, a search warrant, the search warrant has to be itemized in terms of the place that that search warrant is going to be executed on, right? The name, right, of the property or person, right? Giving the lawman, giving the police officers authority to enter therein. Right? Now, based on what as it relates to the warrant alone, right? The name of the person was not mentioned. The particular address that the police access is not on the warrant. So this is extremely serious. Was this a case of misidentity? And then after the fact, the police is trying to cover up their tracks? Or is it a case where the police went deliberately to execute this man? No, this is very serious enough. Based on what the police is saying and what the footage is showing, right? The footage is showing where the young man, right, exited from inside of his house, going outside, and now in the custody of the police. No, this is very serious. So the young man was in the police custody, unarmed, because we have seen that, unarmed. Why did the police officers took him back inside the house? No, let me ask a question. If this man was deemed dangerous by the police, and as according to what the police is saying, that might be this man involved in shooting, killing, or whatever, so then, okay, this seems to be a dangerous person as according to the police. 23 policemen went for him. Now then, if 23 policemen went for him and this man is dangerous, and you have him in custody, my big question that a lot of people not asking, why didn't you have him handcuffed? He's wanted by you guys, right? And as according to you guys, he's dangerous, extremely dangerous. He came out to you, right, unarmed. I am asking Jamaica Constabulary Force, why didn't you have him handcuffed to secure your so-called suspect or your subject or whatever you want to call him? Why didn't you secure him for safety? Have him properly handcuffed, right? And if you want to bring him back as it relates to him witness, you carrying out a search, then the gentleman would have been handcuffed behind the back and watch you search. That means if you find a firearm, right, he now can witness that you would have found the firearm in his presence, right? No, this is where it comes in now. The issue of body cams. If you were, right, going on a mission as it relates to transparency, and, you know, go gaga, the Commissioner of Police, these are the questions that we are pointing out now to show you how important the body cam is and the procedure that should follow. So then the police now should have him handcuffed because he went out there to them. They can't deny that. They can't deny that. Why the police did not have him handcuffed and have the subject secured properly? Why they didn't have him secured properly? Because if you claim that this man, right, is dangerous, right, this man is at number 3, X amount of people, you now have him in your custody, right? He has no weapon on him. I am just speaking as it relates to what I am seeing. You know. The question to you officers, to all of you, what was the reason for you not to have him handcuffed and have him secured? Was it that the intention was only going there for the purpose to have him executed? Why you don't want to interfere with CCTV evidence? Why would you want to contaminate the scene of the crime? You, the officer, moving camera angle, shifting camera angle, pulling out internet card. Now, listen. No matter what you are going to say in terms of your defense and what is there, right? You should be all going to prison. All of you at this time should have now taken from frontline duties. All of you at this time should have been charged on those premises. One, the man in your custody. Two, why didn't you have him handcuffed and have the subject secure? You brought him back into the house for what reason? Now, if the reason is to search because you have a search warrant, that is a problem again, because the search warrant doesn't mention the subject property, the victim property. The search warrant doesn't have the victim name. So what sort of defense are you going to build in the court? What sort of defense are you going to build in the court? A warrant that doesn't have his name? A warrant where the victim property, the victim address doesn't list it on the warrant? You have him in custody. The man came out with his hands in the air. You have him in custody, right? Why not have him handcuffed to have him secure, to secure the subject? That is what I can't understand. And then you brought him back inside, and then you are telling lies that the man was reaching for a firearm, right, among some clothing item, where it's obvious where the man was killed. The man was killed right at the location of a window. So how you mesh those two? How you deal with those two? Let me just bring in Melting Pot in this place, because all of these police officers should be taking our frontline duties, right? And should be lining up for charges. Melting Pot, come in.
Based on footage of the evidence where we are looking on, it's a premeditated murder. Yeah?
Agreed.
Them directly come to kill this youth. You understand? I don't know where them get them info from this youth. Yeah, who give them info, what them know about him. But based on what I am looking at, this is a premeditated murder. They didn't come to arrest anybody. Okay, it's a fictitious warrant. That's all I can say. It is a fictitious warrant. Okay. All right. Let us know, based on what I have seen on the video, right? And this video, is recorded by the deceased camera system that is installed at the premises. Now, we all know the deceased is a working man, 22-year-old mixologist. Okay? So a mixed beverage.
Yes.
All right? Good. Now, this man come home from work. Yeah? The camera show him when he reach home, taking off him upper top. Yeah? Eating a patty, going into his place. All right? This man saw police surrounding the premises. And this guy did not run to the door with a firearm. He never ran to the door with a shirt on, like him a concealed weapon on his body. You could have seen him now have no weapon. Nowhere in his body nor in his hand. Okay. Now if the statement relating to a warrant, was accurate, Right at the door, when he opened the door for you guys, you should have read the warrant to him. Okay? And then you should have handcuffed him. Right there and then. And then you don't need to go in the house, go search either corner on no body camera. Okay? So this body camera thing here now is a real issue. So what you're supposed to do, arrest the man and carry me in. Because you can't search the place without his presence, you know. You have someone there, and we have to see the footage of where I go on. That's why we say the body camera is essential. But let's put that aside. I'm saying to these 23 men, how can 23 men go up on one raid? And you're not going to look for a gang, you're going to look for an individual. Right? Because the warrant never have on 10 man name on it. It have one man name. Apparently, but the man name no name Jamar or Javar Parkinson. Okay? So we established that. So we don't know who to go for. We don't have no description of the person. We're not blinded to this operation. I'm no lunatic in our head. Because watch this. The camera footage I show a guy that is a part of the 23, you know. We're in a white shirt. I severe the ceiling. From him go in. Him start look for camera. Because you could not look for man up in a ceiling. So most camera device you look for. Him realize none never did it so. Or if it did it conceal when you can't see. I don't know. Yeah. And the whole of them proceed and them kick off through and them go on with all type of things. Yeah. And you care about the man inside of the place. Go kill him. And I tell lie. No, we know, personally speaking, say, we have a ring of corruption in Jamaica. Where it not addressed for a long time. Too much police are do state killing. Yeah, hitman killing. And now get the charge where them forget for it. Them still up on duty. But certain Ramario Sterling killers them still aware. Nobody no charge for that. Yeah, Andre, the youth down in a St. Elizabeth with them with how much a policeman? I think a 4 policeman did up on a scene there. We give him 4 shots. Yeah, the early morning there. We don't hear nothing about that, you know. Yeah. Some unsounded mind people with a murder not come out of them thing there. So the policeman them is having a field day in Jamaica. As it relates to them, know so when them kill, not now come out of it. Yeah, the man them a take it for a game. Who can kill who can how you kill them? And what the man do when you give him the first one and all them things there. Me years up on the ground. The police them a take it and make mimic. When a man get the first shot to him go on and all them way there. I would say these things must stop it wrong. That's why them no want nobody camera. The hierarchy them. Because when you send them, when them send the police, them go kill who them want to kill, you know. Them no want it for no video. But I'm glad all the people them are put in them system. So the facts say them kill him and them realize we are going. Because them not left without kill him, you know. That's why them put him back in the house. Yeah? No gun no in the youth house. Okay? Them carry me in there, go murder him in a corner. And the place get shoot up so much that me, you know, say, you not go for wounded him. You go for murder him. You can't see the amount of bullet in the wall. You understand? Yeah, and these things is what you call crime against humanity. The whole of them forget try the aim and get electrocuted. Them to face the death penalty. It must come back in a Jamaica society, the death penalty. It's no different from no other death. Death are death, D-E-A-T-H. So whether you want to hang a man or put him in the electric chair or with lethal chamber gas, me no care the death penalty if they come back. Then they are criminal. You understand? And them are do too much of this. Where you call now extrajudicial killing in our place. And it will go and punish. You understand? So them know so well that yeah, we can continue this. Yeah. There are certain narratives that need to come out of the force. You see, policeman, we are going around with alias name like one a day and all. Back in the days, you have a Trinity. We know Trinity is a Western guy. Yeah, you have an ox, when ox out your head. Yeah, them name that you have all a one when you after dark. Him come for you after dark, you know. People used to call him after dark. No, it's not after dark. It's after dark. All them name there. What we are doing them in our police force? We need to clean out the alias system out of the police force. Police force must be police force with authority and morality, decency and transparency. So this is why if you're going to have transparency, you have to have the body camera.
Melting pot, you have a police camera.
You have one idea. Yeah. All these things. You have Carney, the man that they don't know. You understand? Them can you, so them call him Carney. Them stuff they have to stop, man. Yeah? Because I don't know what kind of scary tactics you now come with. You understand? You have too much garbage now, I serve. They are criminals. And the real policeman must understand, so when a melting pot attack, who the cap fit, let them wear it. If it not fit, you're not trouble it. We just use the terminology right across the board. But if the cap fit you, you can wear it. If it don't fit you, leave it alone when I speak. I am saying that the policeman, yeah, the 23 of them here, will go out there. And many more within the force are criminals. And the police force has become a despicable arm of the nation. It is not there to serve, protect, or reassure. They are killing the people willy-nilly, killing out several generations. This is genocide from within the state. You understand? Because I said to people many times, Andrew Holness is trying to institutionalize dictatorship role in our country. Right? He has gone to places that he should have never been. And he has brought back the blueprint. You understand? Because when you are afraid of a Don, you know, you stay away from him. You're scared of him. And he's making himself the ultimate Don in our place. Because this Don thing come from the man who apprenticed him, you know. Edward Seaga, you know. And Andrew want to be that, you know, extra central Don. When me even more than Seaga and more than the youth them, where the name Dan attributed to. We can't have a leader, yeah, who is operating like that. Because as I said before, you know, if you are the man in charge, you know, of a company, you have to run it good so it maximizes its capacity, yeah, in terms of building something good, a brand. This prime minister has not built anything. We have seen the most state killing. As a matter of fact, we never used to see state killing. Andrew introduced state killing. And state killing that has gone unpunished. Like all Kevin Smith, that was a state killing. And the young officer that died. Because they want to stage the killing. Kevin did dead already. That's why he couldn't bleed. His blood dry up. But you know, still sacrifice another young man. This is how. Hey, this government is wicked beyond the word wicked, you know. This administration is wicked beyond the word wicked. I can't even find a word to describe them. You understand? And people need to take a stop because it not happen to you today, it might happen to you tomorrow or sometime along the line. So whoever want to embrace Andrew Holness and his philosophy or whoever run Jamaica can go ahead. Because time will tell. Yeah, when we not face the same problem, yeah, This young man don't deserve to lose his life. 23 policemen go for one man, cause one man name they read out on the warrant, you know. It's not a group of man name. Yeah? It's not like you're going to bush and look for some man like going to go up a Jack Hill go murder the 5 youth, you know. You understand? I want somebody named upon the warrant. All right, you know, see a one man come out. Him not supposed to go back in the sun. If you're not doing the work the right way. And the police guy not supposed to go in a people place and start survey the ceiling. Where you look for? One thing out there camera, you know. Because human being are not spider. So you can't. So you look for the spider them. Or cobweb. A camera you look for. I'm not supposed to touch no farmer electrical device in a people's house. It is wrong. All of them must be charged for murder. And the commissioner need to come out and speak on this situation. Because too much is going on in Jamaica now. Civil society group like Umbrella Group of church won't them out there. Won't are. Where's the vice? Where Jamaica for justice there? Where Germs 2000 there? And then I want to come talk about here. We want to see the young youth that we are trying their best to make something out of nothing in Jamaica by getting a job. The youth work somewhere. Him and a high glass. Yeah. What kind of it? Is that it to take pan the youth, you know? Is that it to take pan the youth there? Me not ask you, no, me I tell you no say that it to take. Can't you even know him name? You understand? I want to go there and the same operation we see. We don't use and get rid of Ramario Sterling. We are swarm. A swarm. A police and soldier did go murder Ramario Sterling. It's a swarm. And uno go murder the little 122-year-old youth here. Uno have garbage. Uno have nothing about to know. What are uno a shit house? Cause uno have no heart. We carry love for humanity. Yeah? I don't feel like so well, then you have this gun in our hand, you have power beyond the word power. You understand? How now utilize it in our capacity where we have no regard for humanitarian life. You understand? How the commissioner need to go one side, kind of shit house. Go to your shit house. Andrew your garbage, your shit. You allow your state police them to murder the youth them in Jamaica constantly. Yeah, at one point in 2025, we have one a day statistic. The state has killed people one a day. What can go so? I want to cool it down because election have come. I want to soon start it up back. How much you kill since election? Eh? But the people have always been blinded and fooled by one nasty politician we saw no farm government in Jamaica. And we can't wait for the day come when the stranglehold will have on Jamaica. Yeah, we have to relinquish it. And make a charge the whole of you. Because some case that Jamaica, you know, me I tell you, you know, if me have nothing to do with the justice system, the whole of them they are come back on the table, you know. The whole of them are come, all of the footage them, you know, one of them. You see, all who go kill Ramaria Sterling, all who go kill the youth, yeah. You see the 4 police that were murder Andre the morning, in I'm shots, a little youth when me don't think him 150 pounds. And some big trunk, thick, nasty, dirty policeman there, they murder the youth. You understand? And then come chat garbage. Kind of murder people picking on the chat garbage. We no murder the youth them out of East Kingston, you know. Yeah, our last year Christmas, some about there. We no murder the youth them, you know, and tell lie, you know. Yeah, I don't never know video watch, you know. We no murder all unsounded mind people. So we not serve and protect nobody in Jamaica, you know. Yeah? And I know the wages make we not do these either. Because we not get more than the average people who have survived and not rob. Nothing to do with wages. Who are the pan cocaine? No one not take cocaine. That's why in the place we not use it. That's why we not heart of heart for people. We can't love people. Much on the desk have no boy picnic. Eh? Some big nasty thinking dirty police. Go up on the scene, go murder the one little youth. Eh? The youth run, come up the door for Uno. I want to forcing, I want to start marching. I'm going to tell you no, nasty police where I go on, so. You can't go up on the battlefield. You piss up on yourself. You think you could have gone Ukraine a fight Russian? I don't have Gaza on a shit house. You don't go pray upon the weak people in Jamaica. Yeah? And that's how we soon go out with all the while. And I pop up on the thinking chest. You know nastiness. You know corrupted like the leader down there. You know the leader one on a shit house. I mean I put my mouth on ground, you know. Believe enough time for earth to put so me can go anytime. But what I do, me feel it in my core. You understand? Me not support them garbage there. Every man have a right to live his life on earth till time come. You understand? We don't want no 23 police, nasty thinking policeman go for one little youth. 22-year-old youth, 23 man go for him. Eh? You know more than the youth age. You know shit house, you know. And I come tell lie about to find the youth and go for gun. If the youth did not go for gun, him carry him gun come. Because him know now will kill him. He might kill one or two and dead same way. Yeah? Which man have him gun and go dead without trying? Eh? I know so when him see that a swarm of stinking garbage police people will come for him. Him know same life is only a matter of time before it gone. Him a go bust shot off a phone and him now open no phone either. Yeah? Him not opening anywhere phone. You premeditate and go for the youth and murder the youth senselessly and want to come tell lie. Yeah? To cover up at the scene, you know, show when you not turn all the camera angle, you know. It show from the big man in the plain clothes come and start look up at the ceiling. Where you look for cowboy brother Nancy, shit house, big piece of stinking shit, where your belly big like pampas, you nastiness, you. We have your pump video, we're going to try you, your shit house. What I know? Me and me couldn't know that straight. All of them get charged for the youth dead. None of them not the same. All of them is accomplice to the youth demise. Whether you pull the trigger or not, you have one intention, the 23 on him not coming alive. Him coming as a dead body. I yield back the floor.
All right, and my Jamaican people, that's where we are going to stop it because we have to tune in, right, as it relates to the Titans later. I want to tell all my Jamaican people to tune in to the Titans later. Melting Pot, right, big up yourself, my brother, right, a powerful, right, and impactful contribution from you all the time, not only today. Right, for all the members in the chat, we want to say a big thanks for you to pass through, you know, continue to support Mystic Sensation. We really appreciate of that, right? So big up yourself, right? And please tune in to the Titans later. So I want to just, you know, let Wifey close out for us. All right.
Okay, guys, blessings to everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in again and have a wonderful rest of the week. One love.
I know why you come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.